What if the feedback you fear the most is the exact thing that secures your next promotion? When projects run smoothly and revenue is up, it is easy to look competent. Average performers coast on these good days, but exceptional leaders distinguish themselves in the moments things go wrong, specifically in how they react when someone points out their flaws. Modern organizations have moved away from the safety of the annual performance review. Today's workplace operates on continuous, real-time feedback loops. Critiques from managers, peers, and clients arrive constantly, and they are often uncomfortable. Because business environments change so rapidly, static technical skills expire quickly. Companies now prioritize coachability, the capacity to receive new information, process it, and adapt your behavior on the fly. Continuous feedback is a permanent fixture of corporate life. Because you cannot avoid the criticism, mastering your real-time response to it is a test of your longevity and growth as a leader. The moment someone critiques your work, you will face an immediate biological roadblock, the instinct to defend yourself. The human brain is wired to process negative social feedback as a literal threat. When a manager points out a flaw in your presentation, your amygdala reacts exactly as if you were under physical attack, triggering a fight or flight response that pushes you to argue back or shut down completely. Yielding to this instinct is disastrous. Arguing before you actually understand the feedback immediately halts the learning process. Worse, it signals deep insecurity to your leadership, suggesting you lack the emotional maturity to handle tough conversations. We can see this play out in two distinct approaches. A defensive mindset focuses entirely on ego preservation. It builds a wall against incoming data. A growth mindset treats the exact same criticism as neutral, valuable information, pulling it through a filter to find actionable insights. Recognizing and overriding that defensive reflex is the necessary first step for professional development. High performers override that defensive reflex by pivoting immediately to inquiry. When the criticism lands, they force a physical and mental pause. They take a breath. They stop themselves from speaking defensively. Instead of explaining why they were right, they ask for clarity. Can you provide a specific example? What impact did you observe? These clarifying questions take a vague, highly emotional critique and transform it into cold, actionable guidance. Once the feedback is clear, they execute a deeply counterintuitive move. They genuinely thank the critic. Expressing gratitude when someone points out your mistakes requires immense emotional intelligence. It neutralizes the tension in the room. It disarms the person giving the feedback, showing respect for their effort and proving that you are open to their perspective. Mastering this in-the-moment communication builds immediate trust. It proves to your stakeholders that you do not buckle under executive pressure. If you want to continue building those high-level leadership skills, make sure to like this video, share it with ambitious professionals in your network, and subscribe to Corporate Elevate for practical strategies that accelerate career growth. Surviving the feedback meeting with grace is an excellent start, but it yields zero returns on its own. Post-meeting execution is where you generate the actual career advantage. High performers operate with a massive need for speed. They move directly from awareness to operation. They draft a rapid improvement plan, set measurable goals for the next quarter, and proactively communicate that progress back to the person who delivered the initial critique. This rapid action loop separates the exceptional professional from the vast majority of peers who nod politely during the meeting but never change their behavior. It signals unmatched accountability. Possessing self-awareness without immediate action often results in repeating the same mistakes, stalling progress despite the initial conversation. This sequence of behaviors applies at day one of your career. An entry-level fresher might be told their presentations lack structure. Instead of sulking, they ask for examples of successful slide decks, review them, and proactively fix their next delivery. A mid-level manager receives a harsh critique regarding their blunt communication style. They process the feedback, dynamically adjust how they run team meetings, and directly boost their team's engagement metrics as a result. A senior executive receives pushback from the board on a massive organizational strategy. They use that friction to refine their decision-making process, demonstrating the composed executive presence required for high-stakes leadership. From the cubicle to the boardroom, the biological mechanism of receiving and applying feedback never changes. The only thing that scales up is the organizational stakes. We can map this entire process into a repeatable algorithm for systematically converting criticism into career growth, the Feedback Success Framework. First, listen attentively for accurate understanding. Second, clarify improvement areas by asking questions. Third, acknowledge and thank the person. Then you leave the room. Plan your next steps. Execute those changes. Finally, review the results by requesting follow-up feedback. High performers do not get defensive. They ask clarifying questions, thank people for honest feedback, and act immediately. Criticism itself is never a threat to your success, but ignoring that criticism absolutely is. To build the leadership skills necessary for today's dynamic workplace, subscribe to Corporate Elevate. We will see you in the next video.